Morning, everybody. It is Sunday morning. It's still early. I actually I made a mistake with my alarm. I was supposed to set it for 6:30, and I forgot to turn it on. So the 7 o'clock reminder for Jerry to take her gabapentin went off, and that's when I finally crawled out of bed. And I had forgotten last night was the daylight savings time spring ahead thing. Luckily, my phone automatically does it for me. So I ended up getting up, looking at my phone, going, 7? I don't feel like 7. But I realized why it was 7 and didn't feel like it. So I ran around the kitchen this morning to reset the digital clocks and whatnot. I have to set my clocks in here, except for that one. That one's the correct time. I think it is, anyhow. But actually, that one might be a little off, because I think the battery on that one is dying. Grab the wrong cup. I gotta take that out of the kitchen. But I must have slept pretty good, because I didn't feel like hammered crap this morning. I sound like it though, because I feel like I didn't sleep properly or something like that. So it's kind of like one of those, did I sleep? What went wrong? That kind of stuff. Sorry, I should be paying attention to you guys and not my changing of the clock. But it is Sunday morning. It is a chilly morning. We are under a surprisingly not a winter advisory. I guess because the ground and the woods and whatnot are extremely dry and whatnot, that we're actually under a fire watch. Because the ground is so dry that a campfire or somebody burning yard waste could spark a fire, which is kind of funny to me because it's like I woke up, it's 32 degrees, but it feels like 22 or something like that. So there's like a 9 degree difference. It's in the upper 30s, but feels like it's in the 20s. So it's like, yay. Excuse me. Yesterday, my plans didn't go exactly the way I wanted them to, but that's fine because, in fact, we did do some work on Jerry's craft room, which she may be posting a video sometime today to show what we did. It wasn't much, but the thing is, she's trying to get out of the bedroom to do stuff in the craft room. She was only able to do so much because of wearing the brace and being in her rollator is somewhat uncomfortable. So when we got done doing the hour project or however long it was, I don't remember. She told me that she wanted to go back into the room because she was feeling uncomfortable, which is fine and dandy. So I helped her back in the room. We got her wedge behind her so she can at least sit at a 30-degree angle in bed. We watched the Atom Project, which was cute. It had its quirkiness to it, but it wasn't that thrilling to me. I mean, I was like, okay, we watched it. Don't know if I want to watch it again because it just didn't seem my kind of movie. Today, I'm just going to take today off to finish up laundry and relax. Right now I'm too tired to really focus on anything, especially job-wise or housework-wise or whatever. I'm trying to get my energy up, but I don't know if that's going to happen just because of the change in time and the weather, and I think I need the day off just to rejuvenate for next week, or this week coming, starting tomorrow. The good thing is, next week is only supposed to be 3 days, but because I gotta leave work Tuesday 12 to get her to a immunotherapy appointment. My job doesn't mind as long as I give them enough time and a rhyme or reason. And they really like it if I'm there for the morning time to at least prep everything so somebody can do the service part, which is fine by me. I mean, I like prepping. And if I do it right, I won't have much prepping to do Tuesday morning anyhow, because of, if I can get the bulk of my salads and whatnot done Monday, come Tuesday, I shouldn't run out, or I should have enough to deal with the day, and might run out on certain things like what do we use the most of? Tomatoes and onions. If I make a batch of tzatziki sauce, that should last me the week, and then some. Maybe I'll make a half batch. That way, that will last me at least until Wednesday. Because Wednesday Wednesday I gotta close it down like it's a weekend, but they might tell me to close it down like we're gonna be done for longer than just a 4-day weekend, because I don't remember when spring break starts. I literally have to start asking about that so I can figure that out and sit down and make some sort of plan for that week of what I'm going to try to do. Unless I just take that whole week to veg, which I don't think my mind will allow me to do, because I'll look around the house. I look around the house, like, especially in this room, which I'll probably be spending a good bulk of my time, and just becoming a little extra. And I'm still not even done setting up the room, because just the way things happen, and I don't always like it, but that's how it happens. Robin singing outside. I'm getting too easily distracted by the birds. It is that time of year where we get our different species of birds coming back up here. Our Missouri bluebird, robins, cardinals. Well, cardinals and jays sometimes stay in the area. Well, it sounds like you're right outside my window. But the robins are coming back, the bluebirds are coming back, the finches are coming back, the chickadees are coming back. The various different varieties that migrate are starting to come back. The one particular bird I would wish it would not come back is those freaking starlings, because they like to be the bully birds, basically, as I call them. Because if I have any seed out or anything that they can get to, they will bully the other birds away from it so they can hog it all up. And that's one of the things I have to do soon, is start getting bird seed and whatnot for them, because they'll be looking for food. And the birds that are used to me having food for them have already kind of showed up at my doorstep like, this is empty, what gives, So I'm like, yeah, I need to get various types of wild bird food for the birds. I usually get them a mix that has a little bit of everything for every type of bird. The only thing that I haven't gotten that I think I need to look into getting this year is mainly for the cardinals and blue jays, and those are a bag of dehydrated mealworms because they love that stuff. So I just gotta sit down and figure out my budget. That's one of the things we gotta do, is sit down and figure out the budget. Since Friday was payday, we gotta figure that out and pay whom we need to pay, and figure out how much money we need to put into the house account for the house bills and groceries. So, but we're no longer doing the rob Peter to pay Paul type syndrome, which I'm so thankful and happy about, because it's like, yay. Like I said, we're only using one or two different cards for personal use. We're not going nuts. Everything we've either ordered through Amazon or Sam's Club or even Walmart to be delivered to the house has been necessities. So it's like food stuff or clothing that we need, because my socks get holy easily because I wear them a lot. Especially when my feet are cold. I will wear socks constantly, 24/7, unless my feet get too warm in bed, and then I'll take the socks off. But I'm starting to feel like I'm getting my mother's sensitivity to cold. And I usually like the cold. Usually the cold doesn't bug me. It's the heat and humidity that bugs me. That's one of the reasons why I would love to live in the, Rockies, somewhere like lower Colorado or mid Colorado, someplace that doesn't get snow all year round, but it can get snow depending on the weather conditions, and it can get a little chilly. But I think what bugs me the most when it comes to the cold isn't the factor of the cold, it's the factor of what it does to some of my joints that are really used up, like my knees and shoulders. They're starting to bother me when it's too cold, or especially when the barometric pressure is going up, and it's cold. That's when it bugs me the most. I mean, I can handle the rain, I can handle the snow, I just can't handle what it's doing to my body. And that's when I kind of go, and I want to move further north. Yeah. I might have to think about that again. I sure don't want to live. I don't want to move south, though. Dry desert heat? No, thank you. I'll take the cold wetness over dry desert heat. See, Mom wants to move back to Arizona, but she doesn't want it to be too warm, and she doesn't want it to be too cold, so she's thinking like Prescott Valley area, Winslow. Can't remember if she said Winslow or Wickenburg. Problem is, I've looked those places up, and I'm like, well, even Prescott itself, the city of Prescott, they do get their cold days and their snowy days and whatnot, but it doesn't last as long as it does up here. So that's Mom's only thing. She doesn't like driving in it or dealing with it, so anytime it snows too much, she's like right outside my window. If it gets too cold or too snowy, too icy, she'll hang up her keys. She won't drive in it. She'll have somebody else do the driving, which I don't mind. My thing is, I don't mind driving in it. It's my concern of the other people around me on the road is like, okay, I'm driving slow for a reason. You guys are zipping by me. I hope you guys can handle the slickness of the road, because I don't want to wind up in a car accident, which this past Friday, Thursday night, Friday, it got really slick outside. It snowed, but it didn't stick on the ground. Thing is, when it doesn't stick on the ground and it melts and then freezes, it forms what my dad, and I think that's the official title, black ice, which means you can't tell if it's ice or part of the road, and then you hit it the wrong way and end up going, losing control of your vehicle and having an accident. Well, that's what happened over the weekend. There was a number of them. I don't know details of any of them except for the fact that vehicle lost control and that was it. The worst ones that I've heard about in the past were trucks jackknifing because of black ice, and some fool try to pull in front of the semi truck too close, which causes the driver to hit his brakes, and boom, you've got a cab trying to slow down and a trailer swinging around and causing what we call a jackknife. You know, and those are not fun because if the truck driver is not expensive, he could literally roll, which puts himself in danger and anything in front of him in danger, and maybe anything behind him in danger, depending on their skill with driving on slick roads. So, I used to get nervous in New York watching people fishtail coming around a street corner, a little too fast. I've had that happen to me once. I almost jackrabbit, almost fishtailed, coming around a corner. I learned my lesson. I didn't have an accident, but I learned, like, ooh, yeah, take it a little slow there, Jim. The problem is with New Yorkers, New York City, this is down in the city, not upstate. I don't know what goes on upstate. But on Long Island, my father-in-law, when I used to take him to see his doctor or wherever he needed to go, and I was the only one available, I was kind of like, I would take corner slow. He goes, "Why are you taking it so slow? You got the right of way, go." And I'm like, I'm sorry, but one, I don't like taking corners fast anyhow because you never know what's around the corner, and two, like I tell my wife all the time, I've got precious cargo in the vehicle. Now, if it was me by myself, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't care. But when I got somebody else in the vehicle, like my father-in-law when he was alive, or Jerry or Mom, I'm not going to go like a bat out of hell trying to get around a corner. No, thank you. Of course, I think he was getting a little, before he passed away, he wasn't exactly happy with me driving him around. So he ended up getting his daughter, Alicia, to drive him around because I'm cautious when I've got people in the vehicle. Now, when I don't have anybody in the vehicle, I'm just like, who cares? But thank God I've never gotten into a serious accident. But it, just the way I learn and the way, granted, I learned how to drive in New York, which was a big help because people in New York, they don't care. Or at least they don't seem to care. That and the factor in New York, I don't know about any place else, but New York has this law that you're responsible for everything. Somebody hits you from behind, you get a ticket, he gets a ticket. If somebody hits you from behind and you hit the person in front of you, all three of you get a ticket. Which I think was like weird. It's like, okay, and in a situation where it's a three banger where I get hit and end up hitting somebody else, I personally think it's the person who hit me, causing me to roll forward, hitting the other person. But I can understand, like, the person, like here in Missouri, if you get hit from behind, it is basically the person who is behind you that is at fault. So if it was somebody hitting me, causing me to hit somebody else, I would be at fault for hitting the person in front of me. But the person behind us would be the one getting the bulk of the ticket, the higher charge or whatever, because for me, it was a rolling accident. He hit me, I bumped the person in front of me, and my front end does not have any damage, but the person behind me damaged the rear end of my vehicle and his front end, so he gets to pay for my damages. That's the way I heard it works. My cousin, who lives in up near Sullivan, or just outside of Sullivan, told me this, and I was like, well, I can understand, because I got bumped from behind, causing me to roll forward, bumping the person in front of me, but there was no damage between me and the person in front of me, yet all the damage is in the rear end of my vehicle and the front end of the person behind me. So, I don't know, I just do my best to try to stay out of accidents, because I don't want one. I do not like accidents. It will literally rattle my nerves and cause me to second guess my skills on my capability of driving. But no, that's not a big deal right now. As I said earlier, I was supposed to wake up at 6, but my alarm at 6 did not wake me up. I'm not going to say it out loud, but the Amazon assistant, and just call her Alex for now. That way nobody else's device goes off. But it went off at 7 to remind Jerry to take her gabapentin, which she promptly just went, oh, it's 7, and rolled over and went back to sleep. I jumped up like, oh, shit, what happened to my alarm? So, yeah, I slept in a little too long today. Of course, even if I did sleep in till 7, my body would think it was 6, because this whole daylight savings thing is, my body doesn't register the change. Oh, yay, it's, the spring forward time. Yeah. And, but Jerry was doing pretty good yesterday. She got up out of the bed, got on in a rollator. We went into her craft room to, excuse me, to do a few things in her room. To she wanted to do more, but between the discomfort of the brace, plus the discomfort of her rollator, we only did one little bitty one project in there, which took about 30 minutes, maybe half hour. 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. Mom was doing pretty good last night. I did one of the recipes from the Every Plate. And I did it by their instructions. So the inside of the steak that it was giving me instructions on how to make, or the particular recipe, it was still pink and bloody on the inside, which to me is perfect, but Mom likes hers more on the well done side. So she ended up putting hers in the microwave. Or actually, I told her to go ahead and put mine in the microwave as well. So it got a little, it's one thing I don't like about microwaves with certain kinds of meat. It makes the meat a little tougher. So of course I had my issues. But mom's doing a little bit better. Um, I don't know what I'm gonna make tonight because, well, we have some leftovers. So I don't know if I'm gonna make tonight a fin for yourself or try one of the other recipes. And if I'm gonna do one of the other recipes, I need to pull meat out pretty soon, so it'd be defrosted in time for dinner. Um, Other than that, I mean, we're doing fine here when it comes to we're taking care of each other's health and whatnot. I am trying my best to take care of Jerry and mom and myself. Sometimes myself gets lost in the back hallways of my brain because I come home from work and it's like, okay, it's almost 3 o'clock. Take a few minutes to deal with Jerry and be with Jerry and help her out with anything she might need help out with, and then come out and, if I remember to pull meat out of the freezer, cook dinner. And then after dinner is cooked, by the time dinner is done, it's like 6 o'clock. Because I take a few minutes to get everything ready and get all my ingredients and all that stuff. And depending on one thing or another, we eat usually somewhere in between 5 and 6. Our dinner will be done by like a little bit after 5, and between eating the food and talking about what the ingredients are, if mom likes it, and just talking with mom on general subjects, then it's clean up and maybe do a video, and then go spend time with Jerry the rest of the night with Jerry until we have to go to sleep. That's on a work day. Now on a weekend, it's spend a little bit of time with Jerry, a little bit of time cleaning, a little bit of time with Jerry, a little bit of cleaning, or I make breakfast and I spend some time with Jerry after breakfast until my food settles and I feel like getting up and doing something. And then it's usually like laundry, unless mom was kind enough to do it during the weekday. Doing my vlogs, things of that nature, and it's trying to make it a smooth, healthy balance. But sometimes even that gets lost in the translation of what I should be doing, or trying to take care of myself. Because, like I said, I'm the type of person that worries about other people around me or in my home than myself. And there has been some days where it's just like, Jerry, I need a day off. I need to just have a day to do what I feel like doing and or nothing. And just recuperating from a week or two of beating myself up, basically. That's how I put it. I don't really beat myself up. I just feel, like all last week, because the weekend before, when I should have taken a break, should have taken a day off, I just felt like death warmed over. I had a good Monday, but by Tuesday evening, Wednesday morning, I was just like, I was shot. I was ready to basically throw in the towel. Thursday, it was just like, I felt like, my carcass was being, like, I had a pants full of lead and was just dragging it along. Come Friday, I was just like, no. I'm on autopilot. I've already programmed my brain to know what it needs to do, and that's it. I'm not doing extra. I'm not going out of my way. I'm just doing what I know I have to do, and that's about it. Which is hard for me at work because usually on Fridays I don't have much to do except for um, reheat the gyro meat, make a bag of chicken, and then a pan of rice. Because usually I have leftovers from the day before, or usually Thursday is pretty dead, so I'll have plenty of leftovers. And then cut up some extra vegetables or whatnot for the salads because I'm running low. But by the end of the day, I have very little to nothing left over except for maybe some of the gyro meat. So it's kind of like, okay. And because I've already got my routines down for each day of the week, it's not that hard. But when you're just feeling like death warmed over, everything's difficult. You know, people are, yeah, hey Jim, how you doing? And that's about it. I mean, that's the way I was Friday. I was just kind of like, I'm here, ain't I? You know, and most of the people I work with know what I'm going through here at the house, so they're just like, oh, that bad in the kiss. What, you know, one person asked me, you get into sleep, and I looked up and I went, what's that? And they're like, what? And I said, what's sleep? That's how I felt Friday. Now, that could have been anything from the weather to I was feeling like I was getting cold or something like that to just lack of sleep. And it's nobody's fault, you know, it's just the way things happen. I don't blame Jerry for it. I don't blame Jerry for it. She can't help it when she tosses and turns because she's uncomfortable. And I can't help it that my mind and body is on, you know, a setting that I just don't fully understand, but do understand because it's like, oh, something's wrong. Jerry's moving around. What's up? You know. Sometimes I try to ask her, but she has like a headband that she puts on with it's one of these wireless headsets in a headband, so she can have that on and not worry about the earbuds hurting her ears, so she can fall asleep to any one of the Harry Potter movies. She's constantly rewatching Harry Potter #1 because it puts her to sleep the quickest. You know, I don't know how people can do that. I cannot fall asleep to certain kinds of sounds. I cannot fall asleep to a movie, no matter how tired I am. I become like a zombie. I just sit there with my eyes open. You know, I can fall asleep to sounds of nature. You know, especially thunderstorms or rain on a tin roof or the sound of tree frogs. I can fall asleep to certain natural sounds. I used to have on way back when I had a disc disc player, a personal disc player with headphones. I used to put the headphones on because I can sleep on my back without any problems, or used to be able to, and listen to what was it, sounds of nature in it, and it was an hour long soundtrack of everything from sounds of nature during the daytime to sounds of nature at nighttime. You'd hear owls and tree frogs and bullfrogs and hummingbirds and the various types of songbirds during the daytime and the howl of a wolf at nighttime and just various natural sounds you'd hear in nature. And that would put me to sleep. Unfortunately, I don't have that disc nor the player. And I cannot find that particular album online on any of the music stores. Spotify doesn't have it. Yahoo Music doesn't have it. Amazon doesn't have it. I just can't find that particular album. So I'm just kind of like, oh well, find something else to fall asleep. And I tried different. I can't deal with the sound of just a trickling brook or anything like that, because the sound of, now at the age of 50, the sound of just straight running water, yeah, that kind of activates a part of the brain that goes, hey, I think you have to go to the bathroom. But if there's sounds of a babbling brook or anything like that with like tree frogs or birds or something to distort the sound of running water, I have no problem. But that's what happens when you get older. Certain things don't want to work the way you used to. But that's one of the things I'm learning about my life. It's just like, oh God, I didn't know I was going to ever hurt that like that. I mean, I've heard of arthritis, but I've never knew what it was. And it's not really arthritis, like straight up arthritis. It's joint pains due to whatever's going on with nature. I mean, it's getting cold. So for a day or so, my joints will tighten up until until my body gets used to the cold. Then my joints don't hurt me no more. Barometric pressure is changing. My joints gonna hurt. Oh, it might rain soon. I'm starting to hurt. And then as soon as the rain comes, or the pressure starts going back down, or whatever, I'm fine. My body literally reacts to the changes in the environment around me. So, I know it's something natural, but it's not your atypical arthritis. It's not like, oh, he's got arthritis. Oh, wait a minute. It goes away when the pressure changes, when it starts raining or when it starts snowing, or whatever the front is that's causing the weather to change or the atmosphere to change. My body will go back to its usual working self. So I don't have your atypical, oh, he's aging arthritis. No. And I know there's people who get arthritis at a young age just because they don't have good joint issues or joint connectors or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, we might get rain pretty soon. Hands starting to hurt. But I still go check things out just to make sure it's not like, yeah, you need to start taking this medication for arthritis. Speak about medication and medical things. I was actually reading an article on YouTube not too long ago. Or not YouTube, Yahoo not too long ago. And they were talking about the different things people can do to alleviate certain kinds of aches and pains. And some of the ingredients on your mainstream topical creams that you can buy at, Walmart. And they were talking about this one new cream that's it's a new item. Can't remember the name of it, but it's a new product. And it's an all-natural remedy. In fact, they were saying that the formula was discovered by the Amish years and years ago. And they were talking about the main ingredient for this ointment as capsaicin. Capsaicin is an oil or part of the genetic makeup of jalapenos and various types of peppers, because that's, part of their natural makeup. And I was looking at it and I was reading the information. I was going, wow. To think a lot of the ointments and whatnot that have been used over the centuries to help alleviate arthritic problems capsaicin, which is the chemical that you'll have in your food when you eat chili peppers or certain kinds of spicy food. And they're saying that instead of ingesting it and letting it work its way through your bloodstream, to take an ointment where their number one or one of their top 5 ingredients is capsaicin, it will burn. But the thing is, it's that burning sensation that causes the joints to be alleviated from the pain. And I'm like, I can kind of understand that, because chili powder or anything like that has a burning sensation to the taste buds. So yeah, okay, I can understand why, the burning sensation, because it's just part of its job. But I was just kind of like, interesting. How something that most people do not like because it causes a burning sensation in your mouth can alleviate or help alleviate arthritic pain, joint pain, whatnot. I mean, look back before all these new fancy dancy newer ointments and drugs. What was the one thing that most everybody used to alleviate physical pain? They would rub it on their hands, their knees, or even sports team uses it in large quantities. Bengay. Bengay back in the 80s was like one of the top store brand, over-the-counter pain relievers that was not a capsule or pill of some sort. I remember the first time I used Bengay back early 80s. My father, was the one that said, "Hey, your joints are hurting. Let's use this. It works for me." And I'm like, "Okay." And the thing that I remember about Bengay, besides the smell, you can never get that smell out of your nose, is the burning sensation on my joints and my ligaments. And I'm just kind of like, it hurts. Dad was like, "Yeah, it's supposed to hurt." So I learned back then from Dad, if it hurts, it's good. Not all hurting and pain is good. Your body's trying to tell you something's wrong, something's happening that's not right or not normal. But I look at the Amish people, especially the Amish people around my aunt and uncle in Ohio. My aunt took us to this one Amish store. It was basically, it had cure-alls, it had clothing, it had tools, it had a variety of things, books, shoes, toys for the kids, like a miniaturized version of Walmart, except for groceries. It didn't have groceries. But they had this one section a pretty big section, almost half an aisle, that was just all kinds of different Amish cure-alls and ointments and creams and all different things for all different problems. Everything from bunions to arthritis or hand pain. And I can't remember the name on the label. It's been about 5-6 years since I looked at. I've seen it. They had this Farmer Somebody's cure-all cream. And it was basically one of those creams that, if you have a scratch, put it on there. If you have a bunion, put it on there. If you have corn, put it on there. I don't know why I said corn. If your, joints are achy, put it on there, type of thing. And I did buy a small jar just out of, curiosity, because I was having issues with my knees. I already knew I had problems with my knees, back in New York. But I bought it, nice little jar, $12. And for something that's made homemade and whatnot, $12 doesn't even cover all the ingredients at this this person uses to make this ointment. But I bought it and I took it back to my aunt's house and I read the label and I was like, okay. I can't remember if capsaicin was one of the ingredients, but yeah, they used a homemade jelly of, homemade cream of sorts with all the different ingredients in it. There's quite a few ingredients. Well, not a lot, but there's quite a few natural ingredients. Honey, shea butter. No, not shea butter, but honey, oats, like ground up oats, and a few other different ingredients that were all natural. But I think it was the honey and oats that made the cream. But I took it out and opened up the jar, and I smelt it, and I was like, okay, it doesn't have that weird chemical odor that you get from Bengay. But man, did that stuff work on my joints. I mean, I put it on the night before, and then when I woke up the next day, I was just like, felt like I had a brand new set of knees. I mean, just, oh man. Keep on telling myself, I gotta remember what it is and find it so I can use it again, because between my finger joints, my shoulders now, left one's worse than the right one, and both knees, my left side seems to be worse than my right side. I don't know why. But man, if I can find that stuff again, I would buy it. I mean, I'd buy a bigger jar than that little itty bitty sampler jar. That's at least what I called it. But anyhow, almost 50 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off because I'm probably sound like I'm babbling to you guys, but I'm just going through my memories and waking up slowly. But I am going to be, I think today is going to be I'm going to take the day off. I'm just going to finish up laundry and that's it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, maybe somebody who lives close to Amish country will know what I'm talking about and give me a heads up on it. That would be great. But if you don't know, that's all right. Any questions or comments about this video, you can go ahead and add them in the comment box. If you're new and some of the things I talked about were interesting to you and you want to hear more whenever my brain lets me remember more, you can go ahead and hit the subscribe button and then a little bell will pop up. Click on that bell and YouTube will let you know when I put in my next video. So until next time, I'll see you guys around. Enjoy. Bye.